3, 2, 1. Awesome. Yeah, I think we're actually recording here. So Chase, thank you again for joining me. You were just getting into your intro story and how you heard about reselling, and I was like, dude, can we click record because I want to capture this because you just have so much fire for the reselling space, and you're also bringing a different spin. And so you mentioned Gary Vee. I think we're right on the right track in our kind of intros and stuff. So what was your intro? You were mentioning Gary Vee. He was posting those videos back in the day, going to garage sales and stuff. Was it that, or was it something else he said? Or
Yeah, so like every business I've started has started from watching a YouTube video. So the very first business I ever had was selling candy in middle school and high school. And there was a guy called Kenyon Ken who he still makes YouTube videos to this day. But he was like I think he had blue hair at the time, and he was like holding a bunch of money, and he's like, how to make $1,000 selling candy. And I was like, whoa. And I don't know, whatever. I just something clicked, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go across the street. At the time, I lived across the street from a Sam's Club, and I went and I got a box of Starburst and Skittles, and I was like, this is it. I'm gonna go on the bus tomorrow morning, and I'm gonna sell all this tomorrow. And I'm on the bus. No one wants to buy from me, and I seriously contemplated just giving up on the bus ride to school. And I was like, no, I think I can still sell this candy, and I threw it all in
did
a
you like?
Nike drawstring bag.
So wait, what was the
What's
game
that?
plan? Were you picking specific candies like that you saw, or did you have a bunch of different SKUs? Like, what was the initial? Did you
He
only get like
no, he
a single
recommended.
box?
He's
Or?
like, "Get the Starburst Skittle pack,
Okay,
combo
started
pack."
that specific one.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, mhm, and I, went and got that, and I ended up, walking into school, and my group of friends were there, like, playing basketball before the first period, and I was like, "Guys, I got candy," and no one was like, "Oh, okay, cool, whatever." This kid Logan came up to me. He's like, "I'll buy something." Boom, first sale. I think he bought like a package of like Skittles, like sour Skittles or something, and that was the beginning of it all. I mean, it turned into a little candy empire. I had employees at different schools. I had
Uh,
bodyguards that would go after kids that owed me money, and just um, I had different lockers around the whole school. I'd bribe the
oh
teachers with candy. I use credit card swipers. So, like, imagine you're sitting next to me in class,
no.
and yeah, math class, and some kid passes you their mom's credit card, "Give it to Chase." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, but thank you." And I, like, swipe it under the table because 'cause I'm so nervous that I'm gonna get caught. And it's like I'm using my mom's Social Security. I'm like, "I'm illegal. I'm breaking the law." And then I slide back like a Snickers bar and a Mountain Dew, and I roll it to 'em, and we got out of control,
Oh,
to be honest, but
that is
it was
so
fun.
cool. So the start was candy, huh? That's so
It
cool,
was
man.
that with
Yeah.
candy. Yeah, and then after that, I decided, "Okay, I don't wanna go to college." I realized, "Oh, man, this is a total, like, waste of time. We're just regurgitating information. We're not actually retaining any of this." And I like, to the point where, like, you probably won't talk to anybody that hates school more than me, because I realized that, I was reading this book called Unlimited Memory by Kevin Horsley,
Hmm.
and he's the guy that has memorized the most digits of pi in history. He's like number one,
Whoa.
and so kind of like the best memory out there, right? And he found out that there was a study that was done that followed kids that left public high school in the United States, and 3 years after they left, or sorry, 2 years after they left, they only could recall 3 weeks worth of their courses from their
Mhm.
whole time
Totally.
in public schooling.
Totally. Totally.
So when I found
Yeah.
that out, I was like, "Oh, it's all just regurgitating information for quizzes that never end."
Man, that's
So,
gotta be soul crushing reading that while you're still in school because
oh
I
my
so much
god.
of school is busy work. It's like work that only a couple of people will ever
Mhm.
read or even appreciate, and then it's gonna get filed away. And it's like, especially when you get a taste of real business where you're seeing real numbers move. Those are real dollars that like actually does follow you into the real world. Like it's a whole different feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, "Well, hold on a second, I'm making more than my teachers. What am I doing?" You know,
Yeah.
it was like it was a big blessing to have that be like, "Okay, this is what you love. Whatever that feeling is, you need to do that the rest of your whole life." So,
Yeah.
I one of my regrets is literally not just, like, dropping out of high school. Like, I'm that dedicated to getting out of there. So I got out in, like, 1st quarter of, junior year, Like I was gone, or not junior year, but senior year. I was gone
Okay.
right when the year started. And then I tried to be a realtor. So I got my real estate license at 18.
Mhm.
So I think I was like the youngest realtor in Colorado, and no
Nice.
one wanted to buy a house or sell a house with me because I was so young.
Right.
And but it was fine. I learned that it was a relationship business, and everyone has sales wrong. It's just build genuine relationships with people. So that was invaluable. I spent all the money I made selling candy to stay in real estate, and I lost all the money, but it was fine. I learned an
Mhm.
invaluable lesson,
Wow.
and from there I realized, okay, this isn't going to work out. I got to try something else. So I had three businesses. They all failed. Like a vending company called Sweet Money Vending, so like candy, and let's keep it going. Then I tried I had a snow removal company called Snow Go, and I ended up passing that on to some kid, and he's still running it to this day, but it was like a few $1,000s a year. And then I ended up there's a few other things. I kept trying things like all-in-one services. I'd go do your gutters. I'd go change a light bulb. Like I'll do anything. And I nothing hit. And so my last thing I tried was I went to a garage sales because Gary V was, yelling at people, "I'll take it for $1. I don't want it for 5." And I was like, okay, maybe I won't be that crazy, but I'll go and um, see if there is stuff there that I can sell on eBay. And sure enough, there was. And I didn't know what I was doing, as anybody in reselling does. They just buy a bunch of random things and lose money because they don't know what they're doing. They don't understand sell through rates and everything. So I ended up getting all this random stuff, like caution tape was one of them, like a Care Bears. It was so stupid. Um,
Yeah,
and
that's
I
yeah.
I ended
Everything
up
seller. Yeah.
everything, just trying to learn eBay, and I did. I learned eBay and didn't make any money. I like broke even, but it didn't matter because I actually what ended up happening is my dad, who's an electrician, his company that he works for found out that I was doing that, and they were like, "Hey, we have a panel shop where we build panels with electrical parts, and we actually throw away 60 to 70 thousand dollars worth of stuff every year. Could you sell this on eBay?" And I was like, I don't know. I have no idea if electrical components will sell. So I ended up saying, "Okay, sure. What do you mean you're gonna give it to me? What is that called?" And okay, consignment. So they gave me it on consignment, and I negotiated a terrible split. It was like 70-30 or something ridiculous, and I didn't make any money because I didn't know what I was doing. But they were
Was that
so
70
nice.
30 on the top end number in the beginning or off of profit? Or how was that first? What did
It,
that first
it
negotiation
was
look like?
like net order earnings, so it was like
Okay.
after eBay fee and shipping and everything.
Okay.
And yeah, I was like not making any money. I was like, I realized, oh, this is actually expensive to do this. Like I have you sent me all this stuff, and I have to get shelves and stuff. So I
Mhm.
ended up selling almost all of it. It was like $26,000 worth of stuff. I think I sold $22,000 worth of it in like half a year, like 6 months.
Yeah.
Um, I was like, okay, maybe other people have this problem, and maybe I should do like a 50-50 split instead of a 70-30. And that's what I did, and, because I fell into the business, I had no idea that that was actually really helpful for people, and the norm in the industry that I found out is more like, it's way, way higher. People aren't offering a 50-50 because it's expensive and but,
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not here to make all the money in the world, I'm here to help people, so and get my name out there.
Bro, I love the way you think. I can't wait to get deeper into this. And I feel like I didn't set the stage enough because your YouTube channel is so criminally underrated. And one of the first things that shocked me when I first went to your website. So you have your own business. Let me just set the stage a little bit for people. I did a horrible job introducing you in the beginning here, but you're 21. Is that correct? You're 21.
Yeah, I'm 21, yep.
And you talk like you're 30. You talk with a lot of maturity. I can tell you've been through a lot. You've tried a lot of things, and part of what you're talking about, these things, all these businesses you've tried, and it's just resonating so much with me. I can look back in my past and pull up so many things that could be failures, but at this point I almost don't even think of them as failures. It's just part of my story, right? Because
Yeah.
I feel like everybody's gonna have, and hearing about how, yeah, you probably had built up all this money, and then to see it all go away trying to make real estate work, and obviously you're not still doing real estate, but you were able to take something with you and move forward. And I think that you're able to extract a lot of growth out of these mistakes. And maybe you're just making a lot of mistakes quickly. I think that's what a lot of entrepreneurship is
Yeah.
just
Mhm.
being action oriented, just trying things. And I see that in you, man. So you did you graduate high school, or did you drop out to do business, or were you able to graduate early?
Um,
How did that work?
COVID hit when I was in school, so it wrecked everything. I
Yeah.
didn't even show up to get my diploma, and I think my mom actually hid it from me because I said I was gonna burn it and film me built burning it. So I know it's crazy to say, but like
Man,
I really that's how I'm like this is if
dude, I resonate with you.
if I were to go left, or like if I were to go with the way everybody was going, I would have been funneled into debt and just it would have been bad, and I would have absolutely hated sitting in a business class. 'Cause that's where I would have probably ended up being. Just
Mhm.
like, "Wait, this is just not right. This is not right." Like, I can watch
Right.
5 YouTube videos and realize that, "Oh, these guys are learning more in a month of just trying and failing something than sitting in a business class for 3 years to get a bachelor's degree or something." So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think what a lot of people are going to business school looking for is that confidence to just try it and to make some mistakes. And then you get out of business school and really you need to get back into things and start trying things and getting scrappy. And so, you kind of might as well start early, but maybe you need the connections or something. I get that. But to continue to set the stage a little bit, you're 21 and you now have a business where you're doing essentially asset reclamation for these HVAC and electrical companies, right? So you're taking their old stock, and this is kind of like become your full-time gig. Like behind you, what we're seeing is all this industrial equipment from these companies, right? And that they just can't sell, or is it outdated, or yeah, I guess it started with those panels. I saw a panel. So you on your website, you have kind of a carousel of featured items, and one of those
Yeah.
items was some electrical panel that retails for like $70,000. Like, what in the world? So
Oh, yeah,
you're able
so
to get a handle on this stuff. And this is the kind of business that I love, because like to so many people it's so boring, but like electrical panels are in like every commercial building across the nation, right? And so they might not be able to sell it locally to an electrician, but somebody wants that panel, and like it makes all the sense in the world what you're doing. So yeah, it's just so
yeah,
interesting, man.
so
Yeah.
okay, so what ended up happening is I realized, okay, do other people have this problem? So I just would drive around Denver and talking to all the panel shops, hey, do you guys have this problem? And sure enough, they do. Okay, maybe HVAC has uh, in distributors and suppliers and contractors, maybe they have that problem. Sure enough, they do. Same with plumbing, and same with pretty much almost every industry out there. There's e-waste. There's people are throwing stuff away all the time. It's $163 billion worth of stuff every year, according to Bloomberg. Is brand new stuff, perfectly fine, can be resold. It is thrown away and destroyed. So
And that's
that's my
from
mission to stop.
corporations, right? That's brand new product. Is that what that number was that you were talking about? It's like
Yeah.
163
So
billion of just like new stuff they're just throwing away.
I mean, so it starts a little guy, right, at the end of the supply chain, the contractor that's actually doing the job, and then it goes to the suppliers. They have, like, inventory at a value that they are throwing away too, because the corporate's dinging them for having it in their inventory, and then it goes even higher to the manufacturers. They're the ones that are really throwing stuff away. So, what I realized is, okay, who is actually trying to solve this problem? So I'm trying to put my mission out there as much as I can into the world so I can start meeting people. And I've been meeting these really, really interesting people that are honestly trying to become billionaires doing this because they know how unlimited the possibilities are that they can reach. And that's a crazy statement to try to be a billionaire. I mean, you're trying to be a part of the 800 people in the entire United States that are a billionaire. Like, but this is industry that I said this the other day on my YouTube. I did a post. I said only in the asset recovery business can a 21-year-old obtain millions of dollars worth of inventory and get their hands on it. And only in the asset recovery business can that same 21-year-old end up getting their hands on billions of dollars worth of stuff in a single lifetime. Because it's true.
And you're getting your
It
hands on that
honestly
inventory at minimal COGS, right? Or zero COGS?
zero cogs 'cause it's on consignment. Yeah. Um,
Mind blown. That's
the
insane.
the real profit though is in actually buying it for uh you don't want to be in okay, so I'll say this. I mean, there's a company called Radwell, and they'll
Mhm.
offer 10 cents on the dollar.
Okay.
It's like, okay, so you send them a list of $20,000 worth of stuff, and they respond with a offer for 2 grand. It's like, okay, I guess that's the best I'm gonna get. I'd rather do that than throw it away. And
Right.
then they send a quarter of it back, and you're still stuck with stuff, and you got slapped in the face with a insulting offer. So I'm trying to take on that $500 billion company, because I think there's a better way to
Yeah.
do it. It's owned by private equity. They don't care.
Yeah, you
Um,
mentioned that in one of your videos. So when they send it back, are they also saying we want to take like you're also not getting the full 2000 even that we offered you, or are they just saying we don't want this and we don't even want to
yeah,
scrap
they'll
it,
just
or
send like a
why?
quarter of it back. We actually don't. Now that we got it physically, we don't actually want this, and they just send it back to you, and you're still screwed with stuff, and you don't have any money
Huh.
at the end of the day that you reclaimed.
Yeah.
So the best way
Uh,
to grow exponentially in this business is to do the consignment because you don't have any cost of goods. But once you have the capital, then you can start buying stuff for like 20 cents on the dollar or 30 cents on the dollar to really help people out that do need money right away.
yeah.
And I think the future for that is valuing this inventory with AI. And I recently just partnered with a company that does that already, and
Yeah.
it's pretty mind blowing what AI can do. We can talk about that, but it's
Yeah,
as you've
definitely.
seen with tech and sports and everybody, but
Yeah.
it's the future for sure.
Yeah, you just posted on YouTube today that you made your first fully automated listing to eBay, right? Without any posting to eBay or like that, without actually logging in directly to eBay or something? Or what was it that you posted about?
Yeah, so I've been it's kind of crazy. I feel like I feel like I'm on a good mission, and I believe that God kind of was like, okay, this is a good mission. If you want to do this bigger than anybody in the whole country, then here's exactly the people that you need to talk to. And I've been given those people to talk to, and they've been really helping me out and saving me years and years of trial and failure. So I'm not even trying to just use AI to list on eBay. I'm trying to use AI to list on like a inventory management software that can list on 120 different sales channels and just
Got it.
be everywhere all over
Yeah.
the internet.
Yeah. Got it.
And
Got it.
it's
eBay is
very,
just one of the
very
platforms.
complicated. Mhm.
Where is eBay still one of the major players as far as this kind of commercial industrial equipment, or are there other marketplaces that are more like that buyers like for this kind of because when you talked about going to panel shops, like most people don't even know those places exist, but like those are the kind of places that the electricians themselves go. Usually they barely have any signage, and you go in and they're getting the specialized parts for their jobs for the day. But these are the places that stock all these specialized parts for electricians, right? That's how that works.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that there's definitely a market for it on eBay. It's just it might sit for a while because
Yeah.
you're trying to find somebody that like I sell like one of my breakers is like $38,000. That's a good price. It's worth 50 or 60,000, but it's going to sit for a while. But the other day
Yeah.
someone watched it and they thought about buying it, but it just takes a while to get someone that finds it. But I mean, there are people out there that need it, and if it's 20 grand cheaper than MSRP and it's brand new, like someone will buy it.
Yeah.
And if you and what I'm gonna try to get into, it's like the hardest thing you could possibly do, but what I'm trying to do is build connections with distributors and put my inventory on their websites and just be everywhere and have the contacts to call that, hey, do you want this very
Interesting.
niche part that no one else really wants?
Yeah, just
Um,
start to get on those lists of when they're looking for because now you're stocking the out of stock parts, but at a certain point that might become valuable. So what
mhm.
about so you're getting these parts that are essentially these other stores can't sell. Is it returns? Are you getting mostly new product? Is it out of date? Or like why are they wanting to give it to you at such a discount? What's the situation that leads to all this kind of excess inventory in these fields?
It's a bunch of different things. It could be like they bought. okay, for example, there's a company called Rector Seal, and the distributors that you go to buy Rector Seal from, they're like, okay, you can't just buy one, you have to buy 10. And they don't need 10, they only need one. And then sometimes they only have 30 days to return it back to the manufacturer or the distributor, or else they're stuck with it. Or they just stay. There's all these different reasons why they get stuck with it.
Mhm.
Projects change. Some private equity firm, it's peanuts to them. I don't care that it's $2 million. We make billions. We don't care. Just get rid of it, throw it away at the scrapyard or whatever. So it's yeah. I'm not. That's why I'm fine sharing the sauce a little bit, because I feel like there's so much out there that we just need more people to take on this problem. Like, I genuinely want to stop this from happening because I think it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. So I don't care about sharing what I've learned. Um, I'm not going to share everything that I've learned, because I also feel like there's a few people that I have met that I'm like, I'm glad that you're the top of this industry right now, the asset recovery business. I'm glad that you've made it to the top because you're doing it the right way. You have the same mission, and then you can help everybody else that wants to get into. And
Mm.
the mission is driven and it's not overtaken by like greed, and it's not just totally corrupted by private equity firms or whatever the case may be, that comes in and just ruins it and just probably produces more waste somehow, how it goes. So yeah.
Yeah. Now, in a way, your social media strategy actually makes a lot of sense and reminds me a lot of Alex Hormozy, where Alex, I guess he sells the occasional book, but for the most part, he's not really selling directly to his audience. But occasionally, if there's like a big business owner that wants his like specific services, he does offer like, so in a way, it's kind of an advertisement for like these like super large end deals that may come in. And I see you as putting your
Mhm.
face out there and like, yeah, your YouTube channel, even. I mean, your YouTube channel is just so criminally underrated. So you're at The Heroic Hustle on YouTube, and dude, I can't believe your videos are not. They'll pop off. Like it's timeless info. Just
Oh
leave
yeah.
them up there. Eventually, they'll pop off. But like, dude, I can't believe you don't have more views on those videos. But you're putting out gold out there, and like, I think that you're right. Like, there's like maybe there's a little bit of secret sauce you'd want to keep close to the vest, very similar to reselling. You're never going to hear like a reseller or a private labeler tell you their exact sources or their exact products necessarily. Like, there's just some things that don't make sense to like reveal necessarily. But for the most part, you recognize that like there's just so few people that are willing to do what you're doing. But putting yourself out there might put you in a connection with just one or two people that could change everything, right? Like, how many you only need to make a business connection with a couple of people, and they start to see this established history on
Yeah.
social media. You
Yeah.
got this website, and like it all starts to kind of come together into this cohesive thing where you really only need to make a couple of contacts to change everything.
Well, it's same with like just in reselling. Like, people don't want to drive around their city and talk to companies. And it's because it's very uncomfortable. People don't wanna do the uncomfortable thing, right? It's against human nature to get on the phone sometimes. It's like, it's just so uncomfortable to do that, and but that's how you know it's the best possible thing to possibly do.
Hmm.
And, I'm just blessed that I've learned that, okay, everyone has sales wrong. It's because you're not trying to sell anything to anyone, you're just telling stories and trying to build genuine relationships with people, and if they like your story and they like your mission, then they're gonna help you out. Um,
Yeah.
so
Would you
you
say that's one
d
of the lessons you really pulled out from real estate? You said you got a lot of knowledge of it. Was that part of it? Just recognizing how much of it about recognizing that it's connections between people, especially at those kind of high end deals. Like selling a house requires a lot of trust, a lot of personal connection, even to make a single sale. So that's like you're going like straight into the deep end. And yeah, is that
Mhm.
kind of what you pulled out of it?
Yeah, I grinded my way through real estate like I thought I was supposed to. So I would go to like a neighborhood and give 200 CMAs out. Hey, this is what your house is worth. Yeah, I spent 20 minutes on this, but I don't care because I'm just trying to make it work. And no one cared. No one called me ever. I was like, literally, I will save you money on your taxes.
Hmm.
Here's exactly what I'll do. But I thought I could just grind my way through it. But no, it's just making phone calls, and really trying to just tell stories. Hey, I sold candy. This is what if you ever meet me in person, the first thing I'm going to tell you is I sold candy in school, because I
Hmm.
like telling stories, and it instantly builds a rapport with someone.
I
So
love that. Huh. I love that. So what's next in your story? I know you're thinking big, but for the next year or two, what's it looking like as far as your business? Where do you see your story going next year? I mean, I know you're in some kind of a, is this a warehouse, or you actually mentioned you're in an RV storage facility? Is that where you're at right now?
Yeah.
I just think that's so interesting, dude. Sorry, dude, I'm
Yeah,
going.
so
I'm actually I'm a little lightheaded. I'm feeling a little under the weather. So sorry if I'm like scattered. I feel like I'm asking you like a million questions, but yeah, I would love to see
no,
where you're
no,
going in
no,
the
no, this
business,
is totally
and
fine.
especially in your space. Yeah, I love seeing where you're at, and so, and especially the RV storage is so interesting, dude.
So I started in a bedroom, little tiny bedroom, and then I got into a bigger bedroom, and then I realized, okay, this bedroom is not big enough. I need to move into the whole house. The whole house got swamped with parts, and then I got kicked out of the house, and then I went into I realized storage units were not gonna work. That was not gonna work because I was just thinking, oh, like literally 10 years ahead. I was like, no, I want trucks and pallets, and I had no idea how to do any of that. I don't know how freight works, but I knew that I couldn't do that at a little storage unit. So I went straight for an RV storage unit, which was only 600 square feet, no heat. I was just freezing in there, but it was fine because I could get a truck to come in, and that worked because I could get a lot of parts, and then I ran out of room, like, within, like, a month or 2 months. So I learned the lesson that, Chris at Daily Refinement said I'll never forget, "Get more space than you think you need."
Oh,
So
gosh,
I
so
learned
true.
that lesson. And then,
Yeah.
I got into a 1,000 square foot unit, which is one of these. So I have this is you can see the cutoff in the
Wow.
middle, but this
Okay.
is yeah, this is 2,000 square feet, but I was only in one
Gotcha.
of these. Um,
Wow. And the walls are
and I
removable, or you had them remove the wall there?
Yeah, yeah, they removed the wall and it
Whoa.
so you can literally make it into a little warehouse. It's like the perfect option instead of getting an actual warehouse that's like well, especially where I live, like we're talking like $20 a square foot, which
Yeah.
like that's including triple net. But
Yeah.
like why would you do that? That's so expensive. That's like hundreds and hundreds of thousands a year just for space. So
Wow.
I like this place. It's flexible. I can just, if I need to grow, I get another unit. 'Cause I have first dibs. It's month to month,
It's
and
month to month?
eventually,
Dude, that's like the dream setup. Holy cow.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But eventually, I'll run out of room here, and I have to move.
Yeah.
I have been looking. I've been going and touring warehouses.
Yeah.
It's just
You're
too
never
expensive.
gonna
It
get a
doesn't make
deal
any
this
sense.
good. Yeah,
No,
this is like the dream, dude. Yeah.
yeah, but the vision for the future is racking. So like the way we have it, this is so again, Daily Refinement. He has the box system. You're familiar with
The
that.
banker boxes, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What is it called?
I think he called them banker boxes. I don't know why. I've heard them
Oh,
referred
it's
to as
like at a
banker
safe, like
boxes.
safes or something
Maybe, or
like
they
that,
can
like at a
store
bank.
files or something. I have no idea. Yeah.
I never knew what it was called, but I think it's genius because
Yeah.
it's 8 by 30 boxes,
Yeah.
and
Super
I got
deep. Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Yeah, and nobody knows about the shelf because it's too damn big to take out of Home Depot, but it's a 90-inch by 90 by 24 or something, and it's perfect.
Ah. And you can get it at Home
It's
Depot?
6 rows. So you see how I got one,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, I love
Yeah, it's
that. Yeah. Usually it's
60
only five.
boxes.
Yeah.
Mhm. It's the
Oh,
best one.
cool. That's
So, but
awesome.
my
Yeah.
vision, even past those, is going up like literally 15 to 18 rows with pallet racking and doing the
Yeah.
same exact inventory stacking. You could
Yeah.
fit
Just scale
so
it up.
much stuff in a
Wow.
tall warehouse. Oh my gosh. It's sprinkled. Yeah.
Huh. So you is and that's the idea, because you now, is the stuff that you're getting, can I assume it's going to be lower sell-through rate than the average for that, for these fields, because you're getting stuff that's outdated or maybe damaged box or something? Or like what sell-through rate do you expect? Do you go into your buys knowing, or like how does that work? I mean, like how big of a
So,
warehouse, I mean, obviously you're going to need to scale up the size to get enough pieces to generate the daily sales that you need, but how do you approach that, the kind of sell-through rate?
so I think the future best way I could possibly tackle the sell-through problem is to, yeah, say no to stuff as I learn, as I get the experience of what to say no to. And but
Yeah.
also, I wanna create my own proprietary auction site where I can actually, resell pallets of stuff to other resellers that wanted to get rich quick and pretty much
Yeah.
just, "Hey,
Sure.
this is
Yeah.
worth $1,000, you can get it for $100, but it's getting it out of here, and I'm not throwing it away."
Yeah.
And I know a few partners that I have, they do that, and it's smart.
Yeah, you
So
can just, yeah, especially if it's already in your inventory. It's very, I'm sure you could just generate like retail value of 7,000. We're selling it for, 1,000 or whatever. And are you
mhm.
shipping pallets? Are you getting LTL pickups already there at the facility, or is that like the next level up? Like
Yeah.
I know you're shipping big
Yeah,
panels and
I
stuff.
have a whole unit. It's 1,000 square feet of big stuff. So the way I have it set up is I
Whoa.
have I have small stuff on like these shelves, and then I have big stuff on these shelves, and
Yep.
then I have a whole unit of just pallet size stuff.
Gotcha.
So I keep it all separate. Those are the three categories of stuff. And I keep this place. I'm anal about organizing this place. It has to be pristine. If not, I'm gonna lose my mind. So,
Yeah.
it and I have like a no items on the ground policy. We have everything has to be on a pallet or on a shelf.
I love
So,
that. Especially now. So now
yeah.
you're moving into having employees, right? So having these kind of policies spoken and like written down probably makes sense. Do you have employees currently, or are you kind of taking that step soon, or
It that okay, so that's the hardest thing by far that you could possibly do, and
yeah,
that's why resellers don't do it 'cause they if they ever tried it, it would be like, "Why would I do this? This is so hard. This is way too much of a commitment. These are You're paying someone's mortgage, right? This is
yeah,
crazy,
it's a big
scary."
responsibility. Yeah.
Like, have you hired anybody yet, or have you thought about it?
No. I mean, in our previous business, we had up to, I think, 18 full-time employees with our restaurant. We had a restaurant and 3 food carts open all simultaneously. My wife and I, that was kind of our previous business. But we've been doing eBay for 6 years now and have never even considered it. It was a lot of weight. And also, I would much rather just work in silence. I actually found that like I didn't actually enjoy being a manager, and I maybe one day, if I get so profitable that I can hire a manager and employees, or just pay
Mm,
someone 6 figures, someone so qualified that they're going to manage themselves and make my job easier from day one. It is such an investment and a weight. And also, I'm an introvert, and on top of that, even on top of, I think standard operating procedures and stuff was pretty easy. I'm pretty organized with all that stuff, but it was the daily need to be present and to be encouraging and to say thank you. And I am, and I think that I am a pretty outgoing person in general. But the daily, I mean, like, you're paying someone's mortgage, but you're also giving them hopefully like a kind of a satisfaction, like their job
yeah.
satisfaction and life satisfaction in a way. And like people have a need to feel wanted and appreciated, and everyone's different. Every person needs to feel appreciated in a different way. For some people, it's words of affirmation. For some people, it's a pay bump. For some people, it's a title. It's a different title. But, it can be so many. For some people, it's the freedom to take time off whenever they want to. And so, yeah, man, it's a puzzle. Hiring people is a puzzle, and it's like business is hard enough. So I think one day I can see myself at a stage where I'm ready to hire somebody again. But I feel like I hired people way too soon the first time, and then all of a sudden the business got away from me, and then it just became about managing the employees, and then about pushing the numbers to keep up, because you just instantly raise your expenses. Obviously, like, of course it's an expense, but that's the expense is guaranteed. The profit that you get from your employees is not guaranteed. That's something you
Mhm.
have to put extra effort in to make happen. You just assume they're going to be like making money every hour, but they show up and then they're like tying their shoes, or they're like taking 10 minutes in the bathroom, and you're like, I would never take 10 minutes in the bathroom. Like, I'm paying for that 10-minute break, but like, just not everybody thinks in the same way, and it's really hard to get people that think like a business owner but actually want to be an employee. Like, that's a hard balance to have. And you don't need somebody that thinks like a business owner if you also have a manager that's on site and managing people. But that in and of itself is a job, and scheduling and all that. So, bro, it's
So
heavy. I mean, not to talk you out of it, but it was heavy for me personally.
it's safe to say that you were an entrepreneur acting and pretending to be a manager?
I had to be, because we weren't profit. We
Yeah.
we scaled up so quick
Yeah.
that we
Yep.
didn't have enough money and so scheduling, and like, this person doesn't work with this person. All of a sudden, this person's taking a day off, and like, you start to depend on people, but then they also need time off, and humans are humans, and so it's, yeah, man, it's an interesting dynamic. Whereas, like, I realized early on when me and my wife started our business, we started with a Kickstarter campaign way back in the day when Kickstarter was a little more popular, and when it was just her and I working the food cart, it was harder in some ways because it was always her or I working. But dude, we were so deadly efficient. We were so profitable. We bought a car in the first couple of months with our extra profit, and like, because we knew the value of our time, and it's just very few people think like that. And then when you hire somebody and pay them by the hour, it's really hard, because then the incentive for them, as much as they might say they're there to help you out, like the built-in incentive of a job per hour is just to get through the day and to not get exhausted so you can get back to your life. Right? When you're getting paid by the hour, you are not incentivized to pour yourself into work for those 8 hours. You're incentivized to get through because you have life. And like, and especially when the incentives, it's just, I think incentives matter to everybody. I don't know if you watch Mike Andes at all. He's like a landscaping guy on YouTube, but I
Now
love
you're
his
talking my
model.
language. Do you
Yeah,
know that
dude,
I
because
like that
he,
guy? You must know, yeah, because
no,
I love
I've
that
never
guy.
heard you bring him up, but I love him and you remind me of him. And I like the way that he thinks. And I forget what he calls his model of paying people, but like up to 40% is like incentive based, right? Is that
Yeah,
that's kind of his goal, right? Pay
pay
for
per
performance.
performance. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Are
So
you thinking about implementing anything
so
like that, or?
okay, so this is my next video. So my next video is on 3 books that I'm reading right now. The first book is called Kaizen, which is a Japanese philosophy in business that's probably the best possible way to become a leader and run a company, I think. And the second book is called The Goal, which is about incremental improvement. And then the third book is called The Toyota Way. And if you've ever read any 3 of those books, you know what I'm talking about, where it's using Kaizen philosophy in business of we want the whole team to be you're going to create a culture of learning, like a learning enterprise, and and everyone's trying to incrementally improve systems, cut costs, but it's like how do we evaluate what we have done to progress and become better today? So like a good example in the book, The Toyota Way. There's it's a very famous, very copied model, the Toyota processing model. And there's actually these guys called senseis that go to big corporations that like teach these conglomerates like how to do the Toyota way. Because um, as you know, Toyota is like the most reliable car. It's notorious for being like the best car out
Oh
there.
yeah, we have a
And
Toyota. We love it. Yeah.
yeah, and they were these American companies were wondering in like the 80s, why are they so good? Like, what are they doing differently? And it turns out they just have this philosophy of like the Toyota way, the Kaizen, and it's so fascinating. But there was this story in the very first chapter that I just read the other day. It was this so there was the CEO of this really big manufacturing company, and he paid a lot of money for a Kaizen sensei to come out and evaluate his company and see how are we doing things? How do we be more like Toyota? Pretty much is what he was wanting out of it. And the guy got paid to come out there. He was flown out. Went through the whole day. He saw everything. And the big CEO asked him, "Okay, so are we world class?" And the sensei responded, "I don't know. I wasn't here yesterday." So
I wasn't here
the whole
yesterday. Okay, what does he mean by that? I don't get it.
y- y- I didn't see how much you've improved since yesterday because I wasn't here.
Oh.
So that's the whole idea. It's like this is not a um, just make our processes more lean and then that's it. That's surface level. You need to create a culture
Mm.
where everyone wants to and is given a support like a surgeon doing like an operation to keep these systems running as smoothly as possible. And
Love that.
we're not implementing ideas too early. We're like using the scientific process to like, okay, let's test these things out first and then efficiently roll it out. And just it's probably I think it's the best way to go about doing this business because it's so funny that the reason why I'm getting parts is because these companies aren't doing what I'm saying. They don't have lean systems. They have all this
Ooh.
waste. And if I can be the polar opposite of that, I think I can really help them. So, or
Yeah.
surprise them. Like, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that, and in an industry that really needs that, they need that kind of lean thinking. And yeah, there's demand for these parts worldwide, I imagine. I mean, I'm sure there's some US standards, but even still, like there's just, I'm sure you can find
Yeah.
demand for these parts. It's so interesting, man.
To answer your question, yes, I am hiring people. I have hired 4 people, my mom, my aunt, and my 2 other guys that are really go-getters. They're very efficient, and they're too efficient. It's like to the point where I'm like running out of stuff to process. because
Yeah.
it's so much more being done than when it was just me and my aunt or just me. Like they're able to do so much, especially with AI. I mean, we could literally, like, if someone sent me 100 trucks tomorrow, full 50-foot trucks of stuff, I'd be like, okay, give me a year. Like I can get it done. Like at the
Yeah.
very least, like, even 6 months, I could do it in six
Yeah.
months.
Because
Like
what a full
fully
truck is what, 50
processed.
pallets? Yeah. Or how many pallets are on a
Yeah,
truck? I
send
forget.
yeah, send it
Yeah.
all. Like I can
Break it
I can
down.
handle
Yeah.
it because
Yeah.
we're so efficient. I just need the space because I just copy and paste the processes that work.
Yeah.
And the problem with it is I have a I am dead set on not losing ownership of my company because the problem is a lot of people are coming to me, hey, are you doing a million EBITDA? Like, are you doing $1 million revenue yet? And
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I don't even want to talk to you. Stop. And then if they keep talking, they'll always say, well, you are we're smart money. We can get you connections and stuff. And like, I'm actually doing pretty good. Like I talk to like billionaires that are trying to do this, I are trying to be billionaires and like
Yeah.
I think I'm okay. Like I can talk to people by sending Hail Mary emails that love the mission and I'll be just fine. So
So was their
they're
pitch a cash
overvaluing
infusion, or were they trying to buy your business outright, or were they trying to team up with you and say your lettuce?
it's all this creative shit that I don't want even want
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
consider. So I pretty much respond to them, hey, you're overvaluing the you think your money is the key to my success. What I'm telling you is you're undervaluing the value of my company, the
Yeah.
shares of my company. Like you have no idea um, where this will go because only I can see that. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to lose ownership. I think there's a you can be smart and take out loans and build relationships with banks to get you just then you grow that way. It's you
Bro.
can be you just gotta be really smart and frugal and
Dude,
diligent and you can make it work.
we got a cash infusion for our first business just asking on Facebook, and we got a private loan from one of our followers who was like, "Hey, I'd rather make 8% with you, and I believe in you guys." And we got way better terms than the banks were
Mhm.
offering us. So like, especially putting yourself out there on social media like you're doing, man. I wish I was as brave as you to be sharing my early businesses, because I had so many businesses that I wish I had documented, but at the same, like, you recognize like not every business makes it, and like you're gonna be putting yourself out there. And I wish I was putting myself out there more, but we did have a little bit of a Facebook following that my wife helped people follow us along. She'd take photos of dishes being made in the kitchen, and somebody reached out over private messenger. Like, it only takes a couple of people, man. Putting yourself out there is just like, that's the big step, because most people are not willing to take the criticism, to put their face on camera, like to hear the sound of their voice, right? It's just, there's so many hurdles to get over, and also to be sharing the behind the scenes of your business, and then you're worried about competition. But there's so much, I think, to be reaped on the other side. I mean, you're talking about these people like Gary Vee and all these guys. They're like, here's the blueprint. Like, you can do it too. There's just, because
I know
there's just not a lot of people are
well,
willing to do it.
yeah, I know that a lot of people won't do it, and if there are people do it, then I'll end up meeting you one day, and we'll collaborate and take
Yeah.
this problem that's bigger than both of us on together. Because that's how you solve this problem. You have to collaborate with other people, like and be generous with information and your resources, and it'll come back at you tenfold. So I truly believe that.
Bro, you speak from such a place of security, man. I appreciate that. And it's something that, like, I think is necessary in some way to be an entrepreneur, but like, you were just not afraid to take risks. You said something in your last video. I don't remember the exact context, but it was essentially like, no one cares. Like, you might as well take a chance. Like, life is short, essentially. Like, you only have so, and to hear that coming from somebody of your age is really phenomenal. Like, I so agree, but it reminds me of this comic that I read one time, and it was like two panels, and it was basically like, you can look at life two ways, and it was two people, and they both had the same thought bubble, and it said, no one cares. But one guy was like traipsing through the flowers, like, no one cares, and one person was like all sad, like, no one cares. In a way, like, it's about
Okay,
mindset,
yeah.
right? Because like,
Mhm.
it's true, it's true for both of them. Like, in a way, it kind of sucks, and like, we're all like this speck on a planet, but at the same time, like, take the chances, because like, really, like, no one's gonna remember the mistakes you made. Certainly, like, at the end of the day, like, Alex Hormozy talks about that. He's like, who was the richest guy 1,000 years ago? He's like, I don't know. The richest guy in the world, you can't even remember. Like, after enough generations, like, it's all gonna be forgotten. So like, take the chance now.
Yeah.
Like, try to make an impact. Like, your family will remember. Like, you can try, but It's just it's like weird to hold both of those ideas at once. I think that's hard, especially when I was younger. It was hard to hold two ideas that felt like they were opposites at the same time, right? It's like we are both very significant, and at the same time, it doesn't matter. And it's kind of both. I think it really truly is both, because one person can make such a significant difference, but then at the same time, you can keep zooming out to get perspective on it. And I think it's helpful to hold both of those thoughts, because I think they can be both be helpful depending on what mode you're in. Of like, oh God, like I might make a mistake, or I'm putting myself out there on YouTube, but that's where it's a good time to remind yourself, like, no one cares. Like that can actually help in a way of like, it's okay. But like some people, and like the good people will care, but in a good way. But like nobody's gonna care about the mistakes or the little ums and ahs, or the mistakes in your business. Or people are always correcting me, like, you're way too rough with the inventory. And I'm like, you're right. I'm like, I've actually learned to kind of appreciate the feedback, but it's a muscle that I've had to develop. And like seeing that you've already got that, like you've already got that security, man. I see like you're not afraid of the comments, like you're not afraid of the negativity. Like I think it might even power you up in a way, but it's not like you're going for it. You're just sharing the journey, which I appreciate it, man. But like, where's the security come from? Like, what's your secret sauce, dude? Is it a good family life? Like, where are you coming from? How do you know? I don't know. It just seems like you got such a strong sense of self in a way.
I think that that life is short and there's no time, and I truly think I think about that all the time, and
Yeah,
I really, and it sounds stupid coming from me at 21, but like seriously, like it's if you once you realize that, you're like, okay, well, well, how what's the best possible way to live really short life? Well, if you're really diligent and you actually can when you rest your head on the pillow every day, you realize you actually did something, and
yeah,
you made improvement, like daily improvement and refinement. Like
yeah.
that's just you're reaching towards good every day, and that's the meaning of life. I think it's just a journey that you need to go on, and it's so true that like it's infinitely true, and I don't care what anybody else says because that's so that's such a strong value system that no one can break it. If anybody tells me I'm doing something wrong, it's like, well, you just don't know, you don't understand, and it's fine. I hope you figure it out one day, but um, I don't have time to really like listen to anybody else's perspective on things when I think mine is so absolutely true that and good that I'm just so I guess secure in myself that I'm doing the right thing, and I've just been proven again and again by circumstantial things that like I think I am on the right path. So um, I, I I I think it's that deep because we just went deep there, but I think it really is like it's just so true and good that the negativity just looks like bad, and it's gonna just pull you into into you're gonna stop progressing. But it is scary to put yourself out there. I think you have to be. I think like Carl Jung said you have to decide and choose what you want to put out there for the world to see, and keep some things for yourself because you're seeing this, you're seeing what I'm showing you, right? You don't know who I actually am as a person. Only
Yeah.
the people in my perceived bubble know who I really am and what I'm really about. But I'm pretty open book. I express like the cool things that I want to find other people to share value systems with, but I don't really think that um, it doesn't matter. You don't care what people think. Uh, you can't, and I really hope that everybody understands that if you are struggling or if you don't know what to do, being diligent and doing whatever you love every day and trying to do it better every day, you're going to be just fine. And that's I would consider that a good life at the end of the day if you really gave it your all doing something you love. So it
Dude,
sounds cliche, but it's true.
you're gonna be fired up, man. I just, it's crazy hearing these words coming out of you. 21 years old, man. I got so much respect for what you're doing. I feel like we're getting close to the hour, and like you just dropped so much wisdom. I feel like I wish
A
I'm
little bomb. That's
unfortunately I'm
that's
live recording, but I'm gonna have to scroll
yep.
back because like you just dropped some bombs, dude. I appreciate you, man. That's dude, awesome, awesome. I got nothing else to say. Do you feel like we
Okay.
anything else we should address? We're kind of getting close to the end of the hour. Not like I'm like we need to end right now, but is there anything else you kind of want to do address, or if not, where can people find you online and all that?
Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, you can definitely check out uh my website, my Instagram. Those are two places you can see what
Yes.
I've got going on.
Your website is
Chase
Chase
Surplus.
Surplus.
Incorporated.com. I'll get chasesurplus.com soon. I'm getting a trademark for it, but we'll
Awesome.
sue a few people to get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you can see me on Instagram at Chase Baronic. That's my name, and you can see it right here. And
Hmm.
uh, my YouTube, The Heroic Hustle. I got a podcast too. I'd love to have you on, by the way,
Oh, anytime, man. Of course. Yeah.
because I'd love to have you on. I would love to have Tech and Sports on if he's watching. I'm sure he is. Even Kenyon Ken, I've been trying to get him on. He's the guy that started it all. So
Right on.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, I love what you're
Thanks
doing,
so much
man.
for
Thank you so
having me.
much for,
This was fun.
dude. Thank you for sharing your journey, man. You've been so inspiring to me of just like recognizing again that opportunity is everywhere and it's just out there for the taking. Like, and what you're doing is just so resonating with me. Like you were taking stuff that might have ended up in a landfill and you're getting it into the hands of somebody that you need, and you're trying to make your money on the way. And I got so much respect for that, dude. So thank you for joining me, Chase, man. This is just awesome. All right,
Yeah,
until
thanks so
next
much.
time.
I look forward to hearing about your story too on my podcast, and I really do want to hear about that. So
Oh yeah, let's do it. Let's do it anytime, man. Yeah, awesome. Great.
all
Until
right.
next time, we'll see you guys in the comments. Thank you, Chase. Peace.